Welcome back to the Metalhead Car Show. Today we are in a 2010 Mazda Speed 3, which is super cool because this is one of those cars I've been looking at for a very long time. So the fact that I get to go drive one in this is super cool to me. So the Mazda Speed 3 was obviously the performance spec of the Mazda 3, and what you got from that was about an extra 100 horsepower, roughly 120 extra foot-pounds of torque, a bit more aggressive styling, and some fantastic noises. But this one is absolutely not stock. It has a tune on it, it has a cold air intake, it has a custom exhaust, and coilovers on it. God bless turbochargers. This thing is awesome. The moment you're in boost, the front end essentially lifts up and it just goes. The owners told me it makes over 300 horsepower to the wheels, and it absolutely feels it. This thing is no slouch. This is what Mazda needs to bring back in their lineup. Just a very usable car with a lot of raw horsepower. Kind of stopping out away from the madness, but this thing actually has a really nice interior. These seats are wicked. Like, I love the black and red textures going through it with the leather on the outside, and it harnesses you really well. Like, these seats are really good. Also, I apologize now about the lighting. The sun is setting. There's only so much I can do with this. There we go. When you get on it, the entire front end starts wiggling around, and it's so fun to watch. Now that of course ties into what this car is absolutely famous for, and that is just having violent torque steer. But one of the beauties of this car is it's a hot hatchback. Like, it has a full trunk, 5 seats, it's very usable, but it also has a wicked amount of power, which, yeah, it's not like it's the most unique thing in the world. A lot of cars have that, I know. But what makes these things awesome is you can pick one up for 10 grand now. I need a turbocharger in my life. I just get so goddamn giddy every single time I hear one. I am halfway through this review, maybe a quarter way. I don't know how long this video is going to be, so I'm not that far into this review. But I'm going to say right now, if you are thinking about one of these, go do it. This is awesome. So one thing the owner warned me about is the coilovers are pretty goddamn firm, and you're going to feel on every single bump. But truthfully, like, I don't think they're that bad. I'm not going to say it rides like a Bentley, but also, like, it's not killing my back. So when the Speed 3 came out, it was about 2007 or 8, and it came out on the Gen 1 Mazda 3. And that car and this had the same engine. It was a turbo 2.3 liter that made like 265 horsepower. But this one being the 2010, it's the second gen Mazda 3. It has the facelift to it, which is kind of a controversial facelift, but I think that is ridiculous. The complaint is that the grille's too big and it looks like it has this big dumb smile on it at all times. But frankly, it looks great. And honestly, like, that's where a lot of the trends were going at that point. Mazda jumped on it. And it's not like they were the first ones to do it. I think Peugeot beat them to that by about 10 years. And we'll be taking a tiny intermission.
One eternity later.
Back for our little intermission. Now, beforehand I was saying that this thing was known for its violent torque steer. I just need you to just watch the steering wheel. Holy shit. That was on boost for such a short period of time. Yeah, this thing is no joke. Like, this thing is a lot of fun, but this will put you in trouble if you are not paying attention. I absolutely love it. This is great. Like, driving this right now, I would love to go check out a Focus ST and to see how different, how similar they are, because the Mazda 3 and the Focus have always shared a lot of components, and despite this is a Mazda built engine, I assume some of it was trickled down or came from the Focus ST or maybe the European STs at the time, which, yeah, there were 5 cylinders. So, who knows? I'd love to see how close these two cars are. Sun is directly in my eyes, don't judge me. But again, this is probably one of those wild from-the-box cars you can possibly get for the money. Like, I've done a video on muscle cars you can get for like under 10K, which is right where this thing lands. But truthfully, like, I don't know if they would actually be faster than this. This thing is absolutely berserk. It is so good. This thing is bananas. So whilst I've been doing this review, the main car I've been kind of thinking about is the Civic Type R I did a while ago. And these cars are so wildly different. This thing is more of a hot rod, as when the Type R is kind of more of a technical achievement. That Civic Type R made damn nearly just as much power as this thing did, but it put it down in such a different way that just makes it feel like a completely different animal. This thing is so raw, it'll throw you around, and if you are not paying attention, you will get yourself in trouble. As with the Civic Type R, again, it makes just as much power, in the car I actually test drove makes a bit more power than stock now. But that's not the point. Frankly, I'd love to go right from this to that Civic to see how different they really are, because it's wild how crazy this felt compared to that. And I'm not talking down about the Civic Type R at all. Like, it was wicked. But just seeing how this behaves compared to it, it's just so crazy to see that two cars that on paper are very similar have such wildly different outcomes. So my closing thoughts towards this, it is awesome. If you're considering doing it, do it. You will not regret it. If you are going to do it and you are looking to modify it, I would say do something similar to what this car has. Intake, exhaust, tune. Don't do a comp tuner. Those destroy these cars and I believe Focus STs. If I'm wrong about that, let me know in the comments. If you're going to do exhaust, do it, but let's be real, don't go too crazy loud. It's going to get exhausting to actually drive. And cold air intake, do it. You're going to hear that wastegate way better. You're going to hear that turbo way better. There's be no downside to that. Oh no, what's your thoughts? Are you into the Speed 3, and should Mazda bring the Speed 3 back? Let me know in the comments. So thank you all for watching, and thank you to the owner for letting me drive this. It is awesome. So like and subscribe if you enjoyed a view scene. I tend to post on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, and I'll see you later.